Hey, it's Maria here from Sumilov Academy of Human Integration. Um, I want to talk to you about something very specific today, something that drives me a little bit bananas, and you'll see from my video today that it certainly does. If you've ever thought about working with a life coach, you may have had some questions about the effectiveness of their work. Too many people, in my opinion, have had a bad experience with life coaches. They've lost money, time, confidence, and sometimes even trust in other people. So if we think about it, the person who's supposed to support us and the person who's supposed to help us overcome the challenges that we are currently facing may end up taking advantage of us financially in terms of time, but also they may disempower us further. And why do, in my opinion, too many people have this kind of an experience? It's because this industry is plagued with coaches who focus on and sell you your potential, not the actual results that you want. Okay. So I've been a mentor or a coach for like over 20 years. First, I was doing it with sports, as a teenager, track and field, football or soccer, as they call it in the US. Then I trained others with horsemanship and with riding. Then after that, with classical or orthopedic massage and pain management. Then I went into empowering women. And then I went into bringing the light inside INFJs and INFPs into the world, where it can really be of the incredible service that it is. And then I moved into helping people who have insight and willingness to really help others, to become compassionate and effective mentors who themselves support people who are following in their footsteps. But those of you who know me know that this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more there. But I've always had this drive to share the information that I have. And I think you can see it from that. It certainly explains the kind of the golden thread that runs through my life and my career, first as a student, then an equestrian professional, then a massage therapist, and then a coach or a mentor myself. So even when I was pouring drinks in Dublin, in Ireland, I was listening to and I was supporting the patrons in those dive bars. And what a classic picture that is, a bartender who's willing to listen. But why am I talking about this today? So a couple of things, two reasons. One, I'm sick of the lack of integrity in our industry. And two, if you're considering hiring a coach or a mentor, I want you to be aware of these three common lies that the industry has accepted or somehow has made acceptable behavior. So shall we keep going? So the three lies are: number one, change is easy. Number two, that if you imagine it, then you can manifest it without any effort. And number three, I am the only person who can help you overcome whatever you're struggling with. So those are the three lies. Let's jump into the first one, which is that change is easy. Now, many coaches want you to believe that you deserve things to be easy for you, that you deserve change to be easy for you. There's almost like a sense of entitlement that afflicts this industry that I love. And that is that everything should just be easy and it should just work and you don't have to do anything to change. Unfortunately, I have news for you. Change doesn't happen because you feel entitled to have a better life. Change happens because you use the right tools at the right time in your own personal healing or development journey. So it's not just knowing what tools to use, it's knowing when to use those tools, Remember, if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail, but that's not what we're after. We're looking after a shed full of tools from which you can then choose when the time is right to use that one. So what's actually true is that with the right kind of coach or mentor, and with a very productive attitude and a realistic starting point and the right tools, change can be easier. So we want to scrap change is easy and make it into change can be easier if we have the right tools, the right support, and the right kind of an attitude and a realistic starting point. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to highlight here. Number one, so instead of simply relying on your potential coach's enthusiasm to help you get high on what's possible in your life, why not select a coach or a mentor that has firsthand experience in overcoming your current challenges and using the tools then that they will teach you because of their own experience. If you wanted to learn to ride a horse, so let's just say I'm wanting to learn to ride a horse. I've never ridden a horse and I want to learn. I'm not going to hire a coach who's never ridden a horse, no matter how many books they've read on the topic, or no matter how many times they've watched Black Beauty. I'm not going to choose that coach, right? The second thing I want to highlight here is that I want you to ask the coach or mentor that you're interviewing how they themselves have overcome the challenge that you are facing. You know, what were the tools that they had? How did they know that they were even ready to change? Is it unlikely that if I've never ridden a horse, that after one session with a coach who's read a lot of books, I'm going to be able to gallop bareback across the beach in perfect unison with my mount? It's very unlikely that that's going to happen, right? So what I need to find out from my coach or mentor is basic safety protocols. I need to hear the stories that my mentor can tell me in how they failed forward in their process of learning. I need to make sure that my mentor can pass on those lessons that they learned the hard way, so that maybe my experience will be a little bit easier. I need to have realistic expectations of what is actually likely to happen. Does the coach actually know what they're doing? Have they experienced the firsthand? And can they tell me how I don't have to fail so many times, or as many times as they did? Number 3 point here that I want to highlight is that you need to be really realistic about where you are right now. So take a realistic stock of your current stage of change. Are you even ready to change this challenge? Are you even ready to change this issue? Are you even ready to let go of the story that perhaps you've been identifying with for a lot of your life? If you want to know more about the stages of change, you can head on over to Sumiloff.com. We're going to have the debrief and learning unit on the 6 stages of change available in April 2022. So the question is, am I really committed to learning how to ride this horse? Will I choose to keep going even after my ego may have gotten bruised when I fell off the horse when I was trotting the horse the first time? Am I really ready to kind of challenge myself around this? Am I ready to change, or is this just a nice to have fantasy? So those are the things that I want you to think about when you think about the first lie that we cover, which is that change is easy. Change is not easy. It can be easier with the right support, with the right tools, and knowing when to use those tools. So don't be lulled into a false sense of security in thinking that change is going to be easy. It's not going to, it's going to kick your ass. I'll tell you straight away. Line number 2, if you imagine it, it will manifest. So you don't have to, people think that you don't have to take action in order to achieve what you want, or what your vision is. Now, you may think that if you learn the theory that you know how to do it. And this is a mistake that many many a coach really live by. There's a fundamental misunderstanding in this industry that says that understanding how something works is the same thing as as us being able to do it. And so let's just look at the horse riding example again. If I understand that horse riding effectively is a capacity to not fall off a horse while the horse is moving, that's not going to be enough. I need to understand that simply knowing that will not give me the skills to ride the horse. The same is true for personal development. So just because you know what you should say to your partner to comfort them doesn't actually mean that you're able to do it in the moment when you yourself might be triggered. So I want to highlight 3 specific steps that you can take, that we all need to utilize to truly learn something. Step number 1 is understanding the theory behind the issue. So yes, you do need to understand the theory, but it's not going to be enough. But that is the first step. So let's just say that your partner has just been laid off, and they're the main income learner in the family, and it, without any notice, they've just been laid off, and you might be living paycheck to paycheck at the moment. So they come home, they're absolutely distraught, and they're looking for a safe place to land so that they can heal their wounded sense of self. And in theory, you might have 2 different responses to this issue. Number 1, you might get scared because you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you might have this urge to make your partner go out and get another job straight away. Or 2, you might say, okay, let me comfort my partner for a moment. I want to comfort them. And then once they're more calm, then we can together start strategizing how we can get out of this pickle. So in theory, there's those 2 choices that you can make. You can either let your own emotions overwhelm and yourself and override the pain that your partner is feeling, or you can see your partner as who they are and offer them support, and then from that place of togetherness, then you can start pursuing new employment opportunities. So theoretically, which one of those feels better for you? Now, knowing theoretically which approach feels better for you will not change your situation. And I'm sure you understand that. So you may now intellectually know that it would be better to work together, but you simply can't help yourself. You might be super triggered, and you might mess the whole thing up and say something that you later regret. Now, how can we make sure that you don't make the mistakes of letting your emotions have real life consequences to your actual relationship? What you do is you simulate. So one of the most amazing things about working with a good mentor is that they can help you simulate your situation before you do it in real life. And simulation with a good mentor helps you really play out all the emotions that you might be feeling in that situation. It helps you gain some new skills around that situation before it has real life consequences. So a good mentor will know which buttons to push to really challenge you for the maximum growth. And remember, they themselves have had to learn this the hard way in real life so that you don't have to. And that's something that great mentors can do for you. Whereas a coach who says to you, oh, if you imagine it, you will manifest it. You won't manifest unless you simulate. It's very hard to actually reach those goals unless you are willing to learn the theory and then simulate before you take action in real life. Now, of course, finally, after you've done the theory and you've done the simulation and you work through some skills and your responses with your mentor, it is time to fail forward in real life. And so when you're learning new skills, it's a very good idea to tell people around you that you're doing just that. A standard thing that I usually say to people when I'm learning a new skill, hey, Cliffy, is to say, hey, I'm learning this new skill right now. I'm not sure how it's going to go. So if you have it in yourself to extend some grace to me while I'm learning, that would be really amazing. Thanks for coming to say hello, Cliff. So this way, when we're kind of giving people the heads up, they then have the opportunity to support you while you're learning this skill. So take your support of them seriously, but not take you failing at it personally. So it can be very, very meaningful to fail forward at something together with a person when you've given them a heads up. Now, failing forward is a great skill that can turn every perceived failure into an opportunity to learn something new and something meaningful. And if you're not familiar with the concept of failing forward, you can grab some more information on that. There's a debrief and learning unit number 2 on Sumilov.com. Our platform that will go take a deeper dive into that learning, into that the theory of failing forward, but also how to make it work in real life. So those are some of the things when somebody tells you, you know, if you just imagine it, it will come. You'll just manifest it. You know, people telling you not to take real life action and really practice through understanding the theory by doing simulation with your coach or your mentor, and then being prepared to fail forward in real life. It's just not going to help you get to where you want to go. So work with a coach or a mentor who's going to actually show you how to do those things. Okay, line number 3. This is one of my absolute favorite ones because this really shows the standardized, I would say, ego trip that's been standardized in this industry, and it just drives me bananas. The line number 3 is that I'm the only person that can help you. So when people, you know, a lot of coaches kind of say, you know, when you work with me, you'll succeed. And this is a very egotistical statement and can't really be known without a crystal ball or a capacity to time travel into the future to see how things really worked out. So you don't actually know. So when somebody says this to you without a doubt in their mind that they're the only person that can help you, what they're actually telling you is that they want you to be a part of their story. They want your money and they want you to subscribe into their story without of being the successful coach and this amazing person with this amazing lifestyle. Nothing wrong with being a successful coach. Nothing wrong with having an incredible lifestyle that really works for you. But you need to make sure that you're there to get the help that you need, not to stroke somebody else's probably inner child ego, right? So a couple of things I want you to keep an eye out for, or I invite you to keep an eye out for if it feels right for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but here's some things you can do. Number 1, get some evidence of a story of how they themselves overcame the challenge that you're currently dealing with. You know, are they able to tell you a story from their own past that relates to what you're going through right now? Are they giving you all the indications that you can be fairly sure or certain that they can actually understand your situation and that they can actually help you? If not, next. Number 2, are they making your interaction together all about themselves? Or are they genuinely trying to help you with what you have going on? Number 3, if you genuinely can't afford the time or the money to work with them on a one-to-one basis with the coach, are they willing to give you some other options that are more affordable for you, that take less time, that take less money? Are they looking to help you, or are they looking to hunt you down for your money and your time and their ego purposes? So I believe, as somebody who's worked in this industry for quite a long time, and also somebody who's been training other mentors and coaches in this industry, to be of integrity, to be really there to support their clients when, you know, they're achieving meaningful things for themselves. What I believe will stand in your way of finding the right coach or mentor is you not valuing yourself enough to ask some questions up front. So when you're working with a coach or a mentor, or you're doing a discovery call, or you're doing a suitability call even, ask them at least these 4 questions. Number 1, can you give me a real life example of how you yourself have overcome this challenge? If they can't give you one, then they don't know how you feel, what your experience is, and potentially how to get out of that situation. They might have theoretical knowledge, but they don't have the first-hand knowledge. That's number 1. Can they give you a real life example of how the coach themselves overcame the challenge that you're facing? Number 2, what support did they, the coach or the mentor, receive in their process of overcoming this challenge? It's a really big red flag if they didn't receive any support and that they only have their own subjective experience of what happened. In order for a coach or a mentor to be able to give support, they need to also be able to receive support. So what support did that coach or mentor receive in their process of overcoming the challenge that you are facing right now? Number 3, what tools did that coach or mentor learn in the process of overcoming the challenge? So what tools did they use? What tools did they learn from other people? If they haven't learned any tools other than their own luck, they can't teach you the tools in a very productive and organized manner. It's just going to be random. Oh, I feel like this is what's going on for you. And while they might have a great intuitive flash, and it might be what's going on for you, if they can't teach you how to use the tools that they've learned to use themselves, then how can you empower yourself in a situation that life throws you left field when they're not there? If they can't show you how to use the tools, they will make themselves irreplaceable, which means that you're attached to that person for the rest of your life for advice. And what we want, what empowered coaches and mentors want you as a student or as a client to know is how to manage yourself, how to be there for yourself, how to become self-sustainable. That's our real job. So number 4 question that I want to invite you to ask your potential coach or mentor is, what if it doesn't work out between us? What measures do you have in place that if it doesn't work, that I'm not going to be left with paying the price for it not working out? Do you have a money back guarantee? Do you have current reality questionnaire to get the starting point and then review that current reality questionnaire to make sure that we're actually getting real results here? So those are the 4 questions that I really invite you to ask when you're in front of any coach or mentor. Number 1, can you give me real life examples of how you yourself have overcome this challenge that I'm facing? Number 2, what support did you receive in the process? Number 3, what tools did you learn to use and are you going to teach me in this process? And number 4, what if it doesn't work out? So those are the 4 questions that I invite you and really encourage you to ask every coach or mentor that you're planning to work with or thinking about working with. Imagine the difference between wishing that your situation was different and your situation actually becoming different, changing for the better. You know, there's a big difference between wishing and having. The reality of every positive change is that it comes with a price, and the price is growth. Growth is painful. If you've ever grown in any way, you know how painful it is. You know how many times you fall off that horse before you learn to sit in the trot, or you know how many times, you know, you fall when you're learning to walk, and it's painful. You know, our power-hungry ego that has propped us up for so long has to learn how to let go of the one strategy that it knows, and that is control. when we're learning new things, it fractures our all-knowing ego. So letting go of that ego, letting ourselves to truly become beginners again in life or in whatever you're experiencing right now, it allows us to become flexible and resilient in the storms of life. And it allows us to learn the approaches and the tools that we can utilize when the proverbial hits the fan. So I want to invite you listening to this, to be really clear that when we're learning, we're vulnerable and we're easily influenced. And I would like to invite you to understand that most coaches don't tell you these lies because they're bad people. They don't tell you, you know, change is easy, or if you imagine it, it'll manifest, or I'm the only person that can help you with this. They don't tell you necessarily those things because they're bad people. They might be uneducated and ignorant. But this is why it is important for you to know about these 3 lies. When you're really clear about these 3 lies, you know, change is easy. If you think about it or imagine it, it will manifest. And I'm the only person that you can help, that can help you with this. When you become really clear that this could be ignorance, I really would like you, I'd like to see you respect yourself enough to understand that their ignorance shouldn't waste your time or money, nor should it disempower you further. So I invite you to keep your eye out for these 3 lies and then tackle them proactively. You got this. You deserve to go through the hard yakka, to go through the hard work to become who you really are. So don't be seduced by those lies. Okay? You deserve actual, real life change. So if you're interested in this topic more, you can join us on our online personal and professional development safe house, Sumilov.com, where we, the real people, achieve real and meaningful goals together. Now, if you like this video, I'd like you to hit the like button and also share it with that one person that you're thinking of right now that can benefit from it the most. Let's all pay it forward, and let's all keep achieving those meaningful things together. Our lives matter. You matter. Your goals matter. I'll see you at the next video. Talk to you soon.